In this video, we'll review some additional techniques that can be used for formatting charts and tables. In this report, we'll make a change to the way the legend is formatted. As it currently is set up, the legend would provide a list of asset classes with a chart showing the size of the allocation to each asset class. If I were to run this, the chart shows the list of asset classes and the percent allocated to each asset class. But what I'll do is edit the legend so that the percentage that's allocated to each asset class is more clear. So I'll go back to design mode and I'll click on the chart area and then right click on the pie chart itself and select series properties. I'll then select the legend and I'll place an expression in this text box that'll customize the legend. And in this case, what we'll have is a combination of the asset class and the percent allocated to each asset class in the legend. So the access label is a category group or classification, and the percent is the value or the percent allocated to the household. So I'll click OK and I'll run this once again. And now the legend includes both the asset class as well as the percent allocated to the asset class, which makes the chart more readable, and it is now easier to determine what percent is allocated to each asset class. The second technique is making a table with performance data dynamic, so that only the columns that contain data will be visible and the since inception column will slide over to the left. And the way to do that is to select a column and right click on the column, select column visibility, and we have an expression that'll determine if that column is visible or not visible. I'll click on the function icon, and in this case the expression will count the number of rows that contain a value within the 10-year column. If the total count is 0, the expression will return true or make the column invisible. If it's not 0, it'll return false, and that column will be visible in the table. And I'll run this report, and the result will be a table that only shows the columns which contain data for each period. So in this case, there's no 10-year history. The columns go out to 5 years. We'll try a different table. And in this case, there is no 5-year or 10-year, so the table will only display the columns out to 3 years. One last technique to discuss in this video is understanding and controlling white space in your report. In this example, we have a report that's within a list rectangle. If I click on the white area of the report, you can see by the top of the properties pane that this report contains a rectangle. One of the things I'll do to prevent blank pages is to make sure that beneath the last element in this report, there is no white space, because this white space may create additional blank pages in my report. So I'm going to click on the report and then drag this rectangle up and also drag the body of my report up. So this will help prevent potential blank pages following this table. The next thing I'll discuss is filling white space if a table or an element in a report will not appear in the report, or because the elements in a report will vary in size. You may need to be sure that the blank area or the area that an element would appear in is filled if it is not part of the report. And to do that, I'm going to click on the gray area, not on the report itself, but on the gray area that's the background of the report. And so now I'm on the properties for the report. And if I want to make sure that white space is consumed, I'll make sure that the option here for consume container white space is true. And again, this will help prevent white spaces in the report because it'll move elements up to fill that space if there is a gap.